Oi, 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 everybody. It's good to see you. Welcome back to another video. Be sure you unclench your jaw, get some water, relax, and I hope we can have a dialogue here because today we're going to talk about hackers and cheaters in Dead by Daylight. Look, hackers and cheaters have been a problem in Dead by Daylight since almost as long as the game has been around. Really, just in gaming in general, hackers and cheaters exist. But in Dead by Daylight specifically, probably for the past 2 years, hackers and cheaters have risen to sort of fame as broadcasters like Darva and other people have become targets for these people to advertise and promote their hacking and cheating tools live in front of these hijacked audiences. And I think that the bigger the game has gotten over the years, I think the more prevalent that people feel the need to use these sorts of things. And there are definitely some problems within that. So I want to talk today about solutions and what we could do, because like I've dealt with a few hackers and cheaters just this week, and the good news is I'm not getting targeted. I'm not a big enough voice in this community, but it's still frustrating, and that means that if I'm experiencing it 2 or 3 times a week, you guys are too, more than likely, right? Let me know in the comments below how often. So, I mean, we have a good example. I have a video that I posted a few months ago where somebody tried to hold me hostage as Pyramid Head, and we literally sat around for 45 minutes until they DC'd, because I'm not DCing, right? I'm going to hold them there so that they're not doing that to other people, very much like what Spooky Loop said. But then you have, very much like what Spooky Loop said in his most recent video, that you have people that are more subtle hackers, right? You have some Stranger Things where they're like subtly just like 4% faster, 5% faster than they should be, or things of that nature. Or in a game I had just the other day, you have I had a Yunjin and I had a Nia, and every time I downed this Yunjin and picked her up, instant flashlight save off my shoulder from nowhere. Just as I was moving, just blinded, dropped her. She started screaming across the map, but it was easy to down her. I was very confused. I was like, why are you not speed hacking? Like, what are you doing? And in the post-game chat, she was like, no, the Nia was the hacker. Like, the Nia was flying around. But, like, I can't corroborate that because I didn't see the Nia flying around. So who do I even report? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, like, well, the reports don't work. If you actually keep track of, like, who you play in Steam or, like, who you report to behavior and keep track of their Steam profiles and like look them back up later, typically you'll see VAC bans and things like that, which are not as effective as they need to be. So that's a problem right there. But this is a thing. This is a thing for all of us. Hackers and cheaters and DBD are a problem. And I wouldn't say they're ruining the game, because I generally enjoy the game when I don't encounter one of these people. But if they do take the game hostage, if they don't just do beep, 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 5 gens and bounce, and they do hold the game hostage, that's the problem. I'm okay if it's GG next. I'm not okay with the holding the game hostage part of it, where I just have to sit there for 2 hours. And we see this with Spook and Jukes all the time. He has clown cams. He had a double clown cam the other day, where he's playing DBD mobile because hackers got him locked in a match on PC on Switch, and he's just had to keep churning, right? And this is becoming a problem now. I very much agree with Spooky Loops, right? I very much agree. He said it in his video. I don't think a better anti-cheat is the solution. I think people that don't know enough about games or don't know a lot about anti-cheat, and I'm not the expert here, so if you work on anti-cheats, if you work on cheats, really, if you work on cheats, let me know down below. But a better, newer, shinier anti-cheat doesn't fix anything, right? And behavior coming out and being like, we've bolstered our anti-cheat. It's a challenge for these people, right? People come in and they see if they can break it, because everything computer-wise can be broken, right? And we're not, for video games, we don't have like Pentagon level security. It's just not a thing. So a better anti-cheat, like, yeah, there might be something they can do more, but that's uncorroborated because I don't know enough to know, and 99% of you don't know enough to know. But that, again, those are meant to be broken. Rules are meant to be broken. So that's not really a long-term solution. So, you know, really, what are we looking at? I think the game's being held hostage is the biggest problem, right? Game servers close after like 2 hours, right? Now, this is where I deviate from what Spooky Loop says. I don't think that disconnect penalties should be turned off. I think that if you want to talk about an unplayable game, I think that turning DC penalties off is a problem. Now, I know everybody's fingers are ablaze. They're ready to tear me apart in the comment section. Look, I see that I experience these hackers the same way you guys do. So this is my plea for you to hear me out. Taking away DC penalties creates a very specific problem where people hop into a match and they go, oh, it's a Wesker, another one, DC. And then everybody else has to DC. And you might say, well, everybody gets to DC, GG next. Yeah, but if you waited a 5-minute killer queue, you got to wait another 5-minute killer queue, and then hope that whoever that you get next doesn't hate your killer and decide to DC, or that they don't mess up in the first chase you have with them and then just DC out because they didn't like how the first chase went. I don't think turning DC penalties off is a solution. I think it causes way more problem than it fixes at all. I just... If you've ever played a PTB recently, people DC out of there before you can even hook them on the last hook because they're like, well, the game was over anyway. And it's just, it would make challenges incredibly difficult for the tome. It would make achievements incredibly difficult. I played the game back before DC penalties were implemented, and people DC'd all the time for ridiculous things, right? Oh, my teammate didn't get off the gen in the first 10 seconds of my hook, so I'm just going to DC. Now, of course, people try to kill themselves on hook now, but at least that takes enough time so somebody can come up and grab you, and at least the killer gets a kill for that. And because let's be honest, when it comes to just blatant DCs, I think that happens on a survivor side more than a killer side. Killers do it though. But in all of that, I don't think turning off DC penalties makes any sense. I think the best thing you can do to fix this hacker system, and I'm spitballing because I don't know how the game is designed, but I don't see games like Fortnite being held hostage in the way that Dead by Daylight is held hostage. A game like Fortnite, I don't see hackers surviving just outside the zone, I guess, and just standing there and holding other people hostage or anything like that. There's this weird natural closure. But for some reason in the code of Dead by Daylight, hackers can just leave the game open. The end of the EGC timer doesn't close the game out for some reason. The server doesn't close when the EGC timer is done. And I think that is something that maybe needs to be addressed. Because what's happening there is that I would assume hackers are manipulating the EGC timer or just manipulating the game to be fooled into staying open and not naturally ending. Can you link the server closing that match out to EGC timers? Can you make the EGC timer something that cannot be tampered with? I don't know. The other thing is for every game to have a natural timer. But again, I think timers can be tampered with if it's in the game code. So I think you have to tether this to server closure. Can you make that work? I think so. I think Spooky had a great idea of every matches shouldn't last longer than 20 minutes, right? And if a match is 20 minutes long and it closes out, I think if it's a 2K, it's a tie. If it's a 3K for the killer just wins. Good game, get out. You know what I mean? I think that is a better approach that has fewer downsides. Very few of us are hitting 20-minute DBD matches. And if we are, we kind of want them to be over, I think. I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to play League of Legends. I'm trying to play DBD, right? 10, 12 minutes is the sweet spot. So if a server closure could happen at 20 minutes, if we can tether that to some sort of in-game timer that is only representative of what is on the server and not... If we could do something like that, but a better anti-cheat is just a band-aid. And I think removing DC penalties causes just innumerable problems with people staying in matches. I think it makes game quality go way, way, way down. And I think it makes match quality go way, way down. I would love it if we could have a system where everybody could vote to leave a match. That would be great. I think that would be another great solution, right? If 3 survivors and the killer all vote to bounce, gone. Can that be hacked by hackers? Would that be that's the problem, is anything you program is hackable, I think. So it has to be something on the server side, because I don't think they're hacking the servers, I would hope. Fingers crossed. Is that where the solution is having servers close in a way that is autonomous from the in-game files that are... I don't know. What do you guys think down below? If you work on cheats, if you work on anti-cheats, if you have anything that you know that I don't know, because I don't know. I'm spitballing, so let's keep it civil down below. But if you guys know hard concrete something down below, put it in the comments. I would love to read it. I'd love to bring this up on a podcast episode. Consider this an invitation. Hey, Spooky Loops, Ots Darva, if you guys want to come on our podcast, I'm all ears to talk about hackers and cheaters. This is your invitation. I'd love to have you guys on and talk about this and spitball more ideas. And hey, if you're a hacker or a cheater, we'd love to have you on as well. And so we can see both sides, right? I would love to talk about that. Thank you guys for listening. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Of course, I'll be praying to the entity to see you guys in the next video.